Welcome to the Nice Hair Podcast. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Haley.
We are two girls committed to being nice,
To hair and business.
and to keeping it real.
Sit down,
Take a
Michael.
seat. Take a seat, Tom.
Take a seat. Go, team, go. Are we done? Are we ready?
Yep,
Oh, is that actually the action?
it was.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. There we go. I was just like kind of messing around. I didn't know we were rolling.
We have been for a minute.
Oh, cool.
Welcome.
Hello.
This is episode 28.
I was so glad you guys know what episode it is because I barely know what day it is.
I think we should have a party when we get to 50 because that's when you're really committed to a podcast.
To a podcast, you hit 50
yeah.
episodes.
Because we've been doing this, which for what feels like 5 years, and we're only at episode 28.
Can we, when I'm done being sober, can we have tequila for our 50th episode?
Yeah.
Will you drink it with me?
Yeah.
All right. We can make
I'm just on that
margs.
moderation life. Like,
Yeah, same.
you know, like
Mhm.
if I plan out to drink tequila for our 50th episode, then that's like on the books already. So yeah, I'm going to be drinking.
You'll drink some.
Yeah. But in between now and then, it's like,
Yeah. I just had to like take a break.
Yeah,
We're
me too.
in January. We're probably not going to listen to this in January, but what day is it in January?
it's January 10th.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a lush, you guys, but like I'm a social drinker, I would say.
You and I are a lot alike,
Yeah.
like this.
And it was getting to the point with
As
like
I'm
the
drinking.
holidays that by the end, when somebody would be like, let's go grab a drink, it was almost like, you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
I s-
You know, like it's not
Yeah.
a super hard sell, but it's more like a chore.
Yeah.
And once you have the drink, you're like, all right, I'm good.
I had such a hot girl summer that
From like June to, I would say December 30th. I didn't really drink on New
Yeah.
Year's.
I have drank twice between October 6th and now, which is January 10th, because I was like forecasting my holidays just getting real rowdy.
Yeah.
And I was really starting to feel like I was gaining some momentum with working out. And I'm like, you know what would be a really good way to sabotage my workout goals would be to like
Yeah,
drink and
with your
eat through the
drinking.
holidays.
hmm
So I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to drink. So I didn't drink all holiday season and it was fine.
Well, I had enough drinks for both of us
Perfect.
and sweets. I
Yeah, I did eat like crap.
have like this like gauge of when I'm like going overboard.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I see these like certain things on my body, I'm like, okay, here's the line.
Mhm.
And
You're like, I can't blame this on my period.
Absolutely not. And we got so close to we were flirting so hard with the line that it was like,
Mhm.
you know, like we
Mhm.
got to stop, reel it back in.
Yep.
So we're in the reeling. I'm reeled in right now.
I think it's good too to take a break with like alcohol for a little bit just to like let your body like rehydrate.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when you drink casually, like, you know, just whatever, like in a healthy way, you never are fully like completely hydrated. So that's why I was like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like press and reset.
I'm actually doing a juice cleanse a 3-day juice cleanse on Monday with
Awesome.
native cold pressed. And it's literally like for that reason. It's not
I've
like,
never done a cleanse like that,
so I
but
like
I've heard
it.
they're awesome.
It is. I like it for like, as silly as this is, like mentally, because if you, I feel like if you can do a juice cleanse, you can literally do anything. But it just like as a reset, and I don't care. Like I will lose like water weight and stuff like that, but that's not the important part for me. It's just like getting rid of like all the holiday crap and like kind of like giving my body a reset. It like gets rid of your taste for like sugar and like super sweet stuff. And then when you like come back from it, you're just like, okay.
It's like having fresh eyes. You're like, okay.
Yes.
And your body starts to crave to what's important. I feel like if you take a break like that.
Totally. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But
Okay. Our topic today is, I kind of came up with this topic because I'm just super interested in like, self-growth. And I feel like
it's such a hot topic right
Yeah,
now.
I feel like a lot of people
everybody
talk about
is
this.
very into self-help books and podcasts and
juice cleanses and working out.
yeah.
There's
And
nothing.
it's like the new year, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's like the time of year to kind of jump into it. But
we're going to be talking about discovering what only you can give or offer to clients. So kind of like discovering your power and your unique gifts that will then draw and attract the right people to you, not only in business, but in every aspect.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how like one of the things we're going to talk about is like have people that you love, like basically like say really nice things about you.
Yes.
We should do that to each other.
Okay.
So you can like, and they can like hear it and be like, oh yeah, like that's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah. So I broke this down into a 3-part kind of outline.
Hannah's the podcast planner. If you guys didn't know, I kind of just show up and we're like, what are we talking about today?
But Haley contributes so significantly that it's like, okay, that I just like write stuff down and then she contributes because it's like, it works out.
And it kind of keeps us in line.
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
plan
You
it
can't
out.
be the same. You can't have 2 people that are the same.
Yeah. Am I moving too much? Do you want to punch me in the face?
You're hiding your face with your
Oh.
microphone.
Okay. Sorry.
Push it more towards the middle.
Push it.
More toward, nope, this way. Yep, there you go.
Okay. Go.
We're watching on YouTube.
You're good.
It's our first day.
It's not our first day at all, but I constantly make rookie podcast mistakes.
It's how you're supposed to know.
Yeah.
Can you see my face? I can't tell because the portrait thing is like,
YouTube.
I wish it would not go on my face. Thanks, Dylan. You know how
What?
when you have your iPhone up and it's on
The
portrait
little
mode?
box.
Yeah, and identifies your face. It was identifying my face the entire time.
It was
And-
just like cued in on you.
no, I don't know what's happening.
It's
So-
auto-focusing on your face.
I don't
It
like
means you're beautiful.
No, it means it needs to share the space.
Watch us on YouTube. We're a little bit more entertaining.
We are. And actually we're having a drink right now because it is the new year and I did bring like a celebratory raspberry ale for us to sip on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, our topic today, I broke down into 3 parts. So just to kind of give a preview, the 3 parts will be take inventory. So ask people around you what kind of qualities they like about you and what you give to the interactions between the 2 of you. So that will be the first part. The second part will be, and honestly, if you're listening to this, I would listen to it twice, maybe like skip through to this part and like write things down because I really find it helpful when I write things down. Like
Take some notes.
so helpful.
Yeah.
And if you can, like try not to be doing other things when you're focusing on self-work like this. Like obviously you're going to be listening to the podcast on your phone or whatever, but like try not to be scrolling through, looking at other things. Like really give yourself some time.
My best podcast time is in the car
Okay.
or like while I'm cooking or getting ready.
Okay. Well, if you can get like a piece of paper or just make notes or whatever, I think that would be helpful with this.
I agree.
So take inventory of your friends. Second part will be what I call a gut reaction test, which I'll talk about a little bit more when we go to do it. And then the third part will be collecting compliments that you've received in the past couple weeks and writing down like 3 to 4 compliments that you can think of that someone has said to you. And then we'll be talking about how to kind of utilize those into doing some self-discovery and some self-realization.
Go team. I like it.
The first part of this we'll do together. So you can even just text a couple people. I would try not to use family members for this because family members tend to be biased in a way that they've known you as like a little baby up until now.
Yeah.
So they tend to be almost too hard of cheerleaders.
Yeah.
They're like, you're so perfect. And I'm like, no, I need some real feedback.
but
Like,
I also think they'll give you like super real feedback.
like if it's your dad and you know he'll be real with you, like Haley's
Yeah.
dad will be real with her. You know, like
I
that
feel
would
like
be,
my whole family would be, but I agree because sometimes they're like, no, you're great at everything.
yeah. Like my mom will
But I
be
think
like,
sometimes your friends can be that way too.
yeah, that's true. Find a couple people that you know will be real with you, or people that you aren't so close to that they would have anything else to say but the truth. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just find 3, hopefully 4 honest people
Because here's the thing, you guys, like, I think one of the things when you're trying to improve anything about yourself, it sometimes is like, it's so easy to list off the negative things that you see about yourself. And it's hard to, we all have things that like we think we're good at, right? But the things that other people see in you might shock you and be something so different than what you think your strengths are. And it could even be one of the things that you think is a negative could be a positive that somebody else sees. So it would be, insightful. I would say maybe get at least 3 people. Don't you think?
Yeah. To give you, just say, hey, I'm doing some self-work or I'm working on my business. Could you just take a quick minute? Tell me when you're around me or when you see me interact or when you've just watched me grow my business, what are like 2 or 3 things that you think I'm really good at, or when you're having
like excel in.
Yeah. Or when you're having a conversation to me that like are really, really engage you in conversation with me, or, I'm really good at whatever. So I'll start with Haley because it's really easy for me to identify Haley's things.
It's really nice of you.
You're welcome. Well, I've always kind of seen this in you. So what I see in Haley is very good at completing tasks. So if she starts something, she sees it through.
Which is funny because I don't think that about myself.
Yeah, I think Haley's great at being consistent and completing. So that's what I see in her. I also see Haley's very driven. So I'm going to say Haley is consistent. And sorry, I'm writing these down as we talk. So this is
I don't know if do I say thank you after all of these or I'm just listening?
We're just reflecting. Okay. So you're taking inventory of what other people perceive as strengths within you.
Right.
Haley's very driven and I'm trying to think. I'm going to say driven as a different one. You are great at at relating to people, at being warm, but not oversharing. Haley's great at like being somewhat vulnerable, but not oversharing. And there's a difference, I think, too. And I've had to learn that the hard way. It's important to be relatable, to be empathetic, to put your story out there. But that doesn't always mean you have to share everything, because some things should be sacred to you or a relationship. And Haley walks that line very, very well, to where people feel like they know her. But then when you really think about it, you don't know her. Like, because I was her friend for a while. And one day I was like, oh, I feel like Haley's my friend. And then I was like, I don't really know a lot of things about her that I would know typically about a friend. Now I feel differently about that now because we've spent more time together. But I think you're really good at just making people feel comfortable.
Thank you.
And able to share themselves with you without oversharing or necessarily giving away too much of yourself.
Thanks.
Yeah. So you're warm with boundaries. I'll say that.
I like that.
I'll do one more. I also think you're a great mom.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't obviously see you interact with Ava a whole lot because Ava's not around. But from what I've seen from the outside, you are a very like dedicated and I guess I see a lot of structure in your parenting that I think is great to give kids. And I think it's really hard too to balance that when you're building a business and you're really passionate about your work. But yeah, I think that's a side of you that I really see that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are very nice.
Girl, you're welcome. And this could be anything. Like you could be like, you have great style. You have, whatever.
Totally.
Whatever kind of draws you to that person.
I think that for you, one of the things I admire so much, I think you are so good at executing.
See, and I don't feel like that.
I do. Even just with like the podcast, for an example, like you literally were like, hey, I want to start a podcast. Do you want to do it with me? And I was like, yeah. And then literally it was like 2 weeks later, you were like, hey, meet me in Dayton. We're going to be recording this day. And it was almost like, okay.
That is a true story.
So I just like see, I just think when you like want something, like you are very good at making it happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think that you're one of the warmest people that I know, in the sense that when somebody meets you, you are instantly going to, one, you shower people with compliments.
I'm like getting hot and blushing.
Not in like a way that is like insincere, but like a compliment that almost like they don't know how to respond to it because it's so genuine. And it's something that I truly like love about you. I think of like when you walk into the salon on hair day and you are so warm to all my coworkers and you're instantly like greeting them in like a way that they feel like they've known you for such a long time.
I think that's like the child in me where and this can be good or bad, but I almost speak before I think sometimes.
Yeah.
And I just like really genuinely love people a lot. So I think sometimes like stuff comes out of my mouth and then I'm like, oh, I don't know if they're ready for that. Or like, oh, I don't know if they like me that much.
But I think another thing I love, I never have to worry about where I stand with you.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know you're never just like blowing smoke, like when you are like saying something, like the truth, like very much matters to you. And you like, I know if I like ask you something, you're going to give me like honest and genuine feedback. And you're not afraid to have a hard conversation in a sense. I know, I just remember this one time we were on the phone as I was driving down here and I was like obsessively like bitching about something. And you were like, okay, I'm going to give you like the rest of this car ride to have this like moment. But like when you get here, like you need to be done with this. And it was like, yeah, you're right. And so, but it was in like a loving way. Like you weren't like annoyed listening to me bitching, but you're like, this isn't doing anything for you. It's just like making you have a shitty attitude. And that like realness is something that I think people are very attracted to. It's like almost shocking sometimes, especially if somebody isn't ready for it. But I think you present it in a really great, like loving way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I'm okay with people not liking that realness sometimes too, because I think,
and you kind of have to, because not everybody likes that blunt, straight to the point conversation.
And it's kind of like you with, you make your boundaries in the same way that I come at the world with a sense of realness.
I feel like you were talking to Sadie there for a second.
Realness. Hers like realness. Hearth. Realness and justice seeking and truth seeking. In that same way, I feel like you come at the world with such breakable boundaries that people don't even realize you have boundaries because it's just so easy.
I don't sometimes feel like I even know that I have boundaries
because they're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas with me, I think because I'll scrap with people a little bit more or I'll spar about things. You know what I mean? The boundaries can get kind of like flimsy, but you, I think, have that calmness and that confidence it's not even a question with you.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think,
how's that for making us feel good?
Really? Honestly, we can stop.
We should start every podcast like this.
What do you like about me?
Tell me all my best qualities.
Truth telling for 400. What is Hannah?
No, but
Let's play Jeopardy.
Okay. So even just in that example, like how I said before we even started that, like some of the things you don't necessarily see about yourself are things that people who admire you and look up to you and are your peers and friends, are things that people see about you.
That was a great exercise.
It really was.
So do that with, I think that would actually be okay to do with 2 people.
Yeah.
Like, even if you do it over text, please don't do it with your mom. Please don't do it with your mom. Your dad is fine because men are a little more.
I think you should do it face to face though.
Yeah, that was fun.
I know.
If you could just meet with like a girlfriend or
Just
a friend.
get coffee.
Yeah.
Bribe your friend with coffee.
Or an old colleague would be a great thing too. Like if you're still in touch with someone that you previously worked with, because they kind of see how you work too.
Yeah.
I think that was great. So I wrote those down. I wrote down 4 things about Haley and about I. The next part of this would be to do a gut reaction test. Now, I am a very gut reaction person, so I hope that this applies to everyone, but I think it's just a good exercise to do in general for work purposes. So I challenge you to get a list of every service that you offer at your salon. Whether it's you pull up your Square app and you look at like your checkout services list, or you have to write down every service that you offer and write them all down, like a baby light, a men's cut, a kid's cut, a hair extension,
A perm
install, a perm, a shampoo and style, and write them down or pull them up and then look at them and let your instincts and your gut guide you to which one of those services makes you feel nervous or yucky, or you're dreading it, or you're fearful when you book that service, or you just absolutely cringe when you look at it.
Honestly, look at each service and see what emotion it sparks in you. Like attach an emotion to it. Because I think that also can, like you said, your gut, it's like, what do you enjoy doing? What brings you joy and what don't you enjoy? Or what is missing that you would like to bring in?
And you don't really have a choice. That's what I love about our instincts and our gut reactions is you don't have a choice. Like you can't really, unless you really studied your body hard and like could pass a lie detector test or something, you really can't push that instinct away. So I think when you look at something and it instantly makes your heart rate go up or instantly makes you cringe, that's a very, very telling sign. And I think it sparks one of 2 things, either fear, because it's something that you are passionate about, but you're not great at, or just like disgust or disdain or just like pushback.
I think this brings me to when I was taking any and all service. I think of the days where I was booked solid with haircuts only. And it's not that I hate cutting hair, but when I walked into the salon and I'm looking over my schedule and I have 8 hours of haircuts, for me, I would rather go get all of my teeth pulled at the dentist.
That's extreme.
I know. And like, I'm the type, you guys, when I get my teeth cleaned, I get laughing gas because like I'm such a baby. I'd rather do like get all of that with like nothing.
So
because
Haley,
it was so mentally exhausting. Like, because you don't, this is going to make me sound lazy.
that's okay.
I love like color because it's like you're doing this time and then you have like a little bit of a downtime. You have a little bit of a breather. You've got a second, catch your breath, go to the restroom, grab a snack. Like little things like that, when you do hair, make a huge difference. They mean a lot. When you are booked back to back to back to back with haircuts only, you have no downtime.
And some people really,
and they don't bring me joy as much as like other things.
some people are fueled by that constant,
Go.
yeah,
go.
it's like a high for them.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah. So Haley's would be, if she made a list of all her services, when she was offering whatever services she was offering, and she looked at haircuts, she would either circle or put a star by
I'd just be like,
haircuts.
ugh.
And then you have 2 choices to make with the service that makes you feel a certain way. You have 2 choices. You can either get rid of that service completely,
Yes.
or you can decide to face the fear and do it anyways. So you're either going to cut something out in the second part, which is a huge move, or you're going to commit to saying, you know what? I'm kind of scared of haircuts. They make me a little timid, but I don't hate them. I actually enjoy them. I just don't feel that great at them. So that's why I'm scared of them. So this year, I'm going to commit to taking a really, really intense haircutting course and facing that fear and like going at it head on and building some confidence.
I'm just taking a note.
No, you're
I'm
fine.
not trying to.
You're fine.
Something I want to hit.
So I think that's why I like the gut reaction test, because number one, it'll pinpoint instantly a weakness or something that's creating an emotion in you that unsettles you. Oh yeah. And then finding out exactly what that is. And that could be hair color. That could be, it could be something as small as like doing a root smudge and feeling like you really are passionate about that, but you just don't know how to do it quite yet.
Yeah.
You know?
It can just be a lack of knowledge and something that you just need to focus on.
Or it could be a perm and you could say, when I look at that perm, I want to throw up and I'm not going to offer that service anymore.
I just get mad when I think of a perm. So to me, like maybe it's just not a right fit.
I don't. A perm is like, it's like an old friend that I have fallen out of touch with that I'm not immediately interested in getting back in touch with, but at some time I know Jesus is going to bring us together.
No, I don't feel that way. That's the friend I buried
It's not going to smell
a long
the same
time
though.
ago.
Oops.
Long time ago.
That friend will have changed quite a bit.
If that friend tries to come back in my life, I will be seeing ghosts. I'll be running the other way. I'm out.
Yeah. So Haley's not ever.
I'll be referring all of my perm requests.
And I'm not necessarily saying I like want to offer perms again. I'm just saying they're not off my radar. They don't make me totally hate life.
I
but
think
they
I'd
used
rather
to.
saw my right arm off.
But they used to.
I just hate them. I think I've done like 4 total in my whole life.
I haven't done that many.
You just like aren't mad at them.
No, I'm not. I like texture too in hair. Like I like a lot of.
I mean, I do too, but I don't want
I
to.
like chemical texture, I guess.
I don't want to roll it into a perm rod.
Yeah. I was also, I think, when I did education for Keratin Complex, I saw how you could chemically change the texture of the hair in a very, very safe and like healthy way.
Yeah.
And I know that there's an opposite to that with
Yeah.
a curl. I know that there is. They just have not figured it out yet. Who they are, I don't know. Scientists work on shit. I'm not working on it, but someone else can work on it.
It's kind of like the cloud.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's at, where it comes
It's happening
from.
though.
But it's there.
There's people with chemicals doing
Yeah.
stuff. Okay. You know, and by that, I don't mean like making meth in their basement, because those are people with chemicals doing stuff, but
They're definitely doing stuff.
not the kind I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I'm going to, okay, so that would be the second part. Gut reaction test, figure out what makes you hit the brakes, and then go one of two ways with it at that fork in the road. Either commit to taking it off your service list or commit to getting better at it.
Amen.
Shit or get off the pot.
Yes.
And then the last part of this would be kind of coming full circle back to the first part, but you're doing this work by yourself. Write down the last several compliments that you have received from anybody at all. It could be somebody at church who said, hey, every time I see you, your hair is just curled perfectly. It's just really perfect every time I see it. You're great at curling your hair. Or it could be somebody you see at the store and they say, oh my gosh, your brows are beautiful.
They better be. I paid for those bad boys.
Yeah. Or it could be people on Instagram saying, you always have the best outfits. I love your style. It could be me saying to Haley, I love how you always make time to work out. Or
I don't love that. Sometimes fitness is stupid.
Or it could be, yeah.
You know?
When clients walk into my salon, sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, your plants are always so beautiful. Like, I don't know how you do it with your plants. They always look good. So write down any type of compliment anyone's given you. And then I want you to look at those compliments that you've received. So not anything that's coming from within you, things that are coming from the outside. And think about how you can turn that into a source of power. Think about how you can connect to people through what people already see in you, because they're already connecting to you by taking the time to say, hey, I see this in you, or hey, you're good at this, or hey, I really like how this is on you. And then turning that around and reaching people with what people already see in you. So if somebody's like, I really love your brows, say, oh my gosh, thanks. I got them microbladed. I think microblading is great. And, talk about that journey and like why you even felt that was necessary and how you were scared about it at first and how you found a good microblading person or whatever. Find anything that's interesting about you as a person, turn it around and use it in a way to draw people into you.
And so I agree. I think that that's also a way to kind of get deeper with your clients if that's something that you struggle with, where it's like, for me, I hate small talk. I don't want to talk about the weather.
Which is funny because we have a podcast where we get on and talk.
But we don't.
But we have topics.
Small talk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
So
that's true.
I think deep conversations build relationships. And I think that talking about something that people, and I've been told this is not something that I necessarily feel, but first, I think Heather said this when she was our guest, like hairstylists are cool to people. Mm-hmm. I don't feel cool, but
that
whatever.
was one of the best things anyone's ever said to us.
But I do think because like we know a lot about like different beauty things and usually we're like very on trend with
we have like the inside scoop to certain things.
So those are very easy conversation topics to bring up and start talking about. And it's just like one way to dive deeper. It's one way to connect with the people around you. And that's what, not just business, but that's kind of what life is. It's like all about human connection. And I don't know, I think it's just like really fun.
Yeah. And I think it's a great way too to zero in on what draws people to you.
Yeah, totally.
Like my freaking dog who's chewing on a sock right now. Sorry.
Where'd she get a sock?
I brought it for her. I bring socks for her.
To chew on or where?
Yeah. But I mean, she's just being so obnoxious with it right now. But I think using my plants as an example, like I think if you have 3 or 4 solid topics that you just like have on the burners at all time, if you're a hairstylist or if you are a weightlifter and trainer, or if you are a chef and like you just didn't do hair the last couple of days, or you just didn't work out, or you didn't cook anything, and you're your own business and you're struggling to find content, I think these are your go-to things. Like
I agree.
I do hair and people have complimented me on the way I take care of plants. I can just get on and say, hey, I've killed so many plants. This is something I found that works great if you have plants in your house.
So we're also referring to though by this last little point, like a way to connect to people over social media.
Even
like,
in conversation.
Even in conversation.
Yeah.
But I think this especially applies for when people don't know what to talk to a social media audience about.
Yeah.
Start with
content.
Yeah. If you need content, like start, like she said, with like little things that people notice about you or relate to in some way.
Just have like 3 on-hand things or dogs. Like sometimes I don't have a bunch of content to post, or I don't want to post old content, or I'm just being lazy one day and I'm like, hey, I'm just chilling with my dog. I haven't worked in 4 days. I'll take like a boomerang or something of my dog, and people love it because they're dog people. I'm a dog person, and people want to hang out with people who are like them.
And as silly as this is, like it could be a client is considering wearing extensions and they've been on the fence about it. And they're like, ooh, I love Hannah's work, but like this other girl, she's really great too. And Hannah posts this silly boomerang of her dog and they're like, oh my gosh, she loves dogs. She has a pit bull. I have a pit bull.
Yep.
I'm booking with her. It literally, you
That
guys,
has happened to me.
it is
joke.
little things like that. Those are the things that make people want to engage with you, whether that's through an appointment, through your social media. Like, it doesn't take much, but people like to relate to you.
Yep. Or Haley. I know Haley has gained clients that may have been on the fence with another hairstylist. They think Haley has great work, but Haley is very disciplined and working out and being healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. That is a huge thing that if people are wanting,
I have a lot of fitness clients now that you're thinking about it.
if people are wanting to move in a direction of a healthy lifestyle or a fitness lifestyle, they would 100% every time choose Haley over someone else who wasn't involved in those type of things. Now, I mean, like, yeah, I work out every once in a while, but like Haley has more of a lifestyle that is conducive with, like, she talks about juicing, she talks about fitness and that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean that other people aren't into that, but she's purposely used that as
a way to connect,
to engage with other people that may have similar interests.
Yeah. And I would say most of my clientele, their lifestyle is reflective of that. Health and fitness are very important to them as well.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like you want your whole clientele to be you, but you want,
you kind of do.
You want people who
There's such
are
thing as an
passionate.
ideal client for a reason.
Yeah. You want people who are passionate about the same things as you.
Yeah.
And the clients that aren't meant for you will have similar interests with someone else. Do not worry about them. Like, literally don't worry about it, because if you can just focus in on a handful of things and then continuously talk about them and be consistent, people will, number one, see that you're genuine and authentic, because Haley constantly talks about health and fitness. You know, I will constantly put my dogs up, or, you know, events that I'm going to, or concerts or music or books or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, have themes that you can touch back on so that people see, number one, you're real and you're consistent. And number two, you are a person with interests that they could connect with.
Yeah.
The last thing, so that would be the third part of this. The last thing that Haley reminded me of, I was actually listening to another podcast, and it was talking about, Haley wrote down the I am mindset, where there is so much power in the things that you say. If you wake up and say, oh, I'm dreading this today. I'm dreading going to work. That dread will find you. It will find you if you say it. Or if you say, I am so excited about today, that excitement will also find you. If you say, I'm fat, that fat will find you. If, you know, like, if you, anything you say,
Deep fried cookie dough is way too good. I get that.
into the world is going to manifest in some way. And I honestly believe in that. I have just said things that I thought were absolutely outrageous that have come to fruition because I genuinely think I said them.
No, I agree. I honestly, like, everybody talks about manifesting. I hate that word passionately.
Okay, we'll use another one.
It just means trying really hard.
Yeah.
I think it just means
But-
throwing it out there.
Well, just like how we were talking about earlier, I started the IBE training. We talked in the last episode about it, and I suck right now. If you missed the last episode, I talked very briefly about it, but I'm horrible at it right now. And I just started my training. I went into it very cocky, and I'm paying for it. It was like a slap of humble pie right to the face. But one of the things that I said, and Hannah like pointed this out, is that like, we'll revisit this in like a month or two, and I will be good at it. Like, and I wholeheartedly believe that it's not a matter of if I'm going to be good at it, it's when. And that's, I think, one of the things when you look at successful people, they are looking into the future, and they're like, they know what's going to happen. Whether that's like a financial goal, a business goal. One of my goals for this year, by the end of this year, I will have at least one source of passive income. You can mark my words right now.
And you don't know exactly, you couldn't describe that with every bit of detail, but you know the direction you're going in. That's what's important, I think.
100%.
I think people get caught up on being like, well, I don't even know where to start. And it's
Me
like,
either, but
yeah.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And like, just watch it unfold. You guys can sit here and watch it. And I'm not saying this in like this cocky, arrogant way, but I am going to make choices that will make sure that that is something that I accomplish by the end of this year. I just think there is so much power because like I believe that with every part of who I am and even just like other goals that I've set for the year. It's not a matter of if, it's how quickly will I accomplish it. It might not go the direction, I might not get there on the path that I think I'm going to get there by, but I'll get there come hell or high water. It might zig and zag and go up and down, but I'll be damned if I don't get there.
I think another part of that, and this is even a harder part to get to, but I think if you can reach a little bit of this, that's where the money is betting on yourself. Betting
Yes.
on yourself and knowing that whatever you do, you're going to have your own back and you're going to not care whether anyone gives you 500 likes on Instagram or comments on anything that you put out there, but knowing that whatever you put out there, whether it's social media or life or actions, that you stand behind it and you know that it's a stepping stone to where you're going.
Right.
And that you wouldn't change it in any way, and that it's meaningful and valuable on the road to your goal.
I agree. I set a financial goal for this year. And if I grow just what I'm doing with my business now, if I grow that 30%, I'll hit X amount of dollars this year. Well, the financial goal that I set, it's like my scary goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I have over $100,000 that I have to find to hit that goal.
Yeah.
But like, I will do it.
It's like a labyrinth, and in that betting on yourself means if you go into say you're going into an opportunity where you could get $25,000, like a part of this goal,
Right.
and you get a no, you zag around it.
Yep.
You zigzag around it.
Yeah.
You say, okay, not here,
Right.
because you're betting on yourself, which means that if somebody told you no, that's okay, because you still got you and you're the most important part. So you're
Right.
going to find it.
And you guys, like a no isn't scary at all. And at least to me, it just means, okay, there's a different way to go about this. Like a closed door doesn't mean you turn around and walk away. Like you go find a different door.
Mhm.
And I think that's what,
Or you see if a window's open.
yeah, exactly. You find a way.
All right.
You maybe have to take a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
But I also do think doors close for a reason.
Yep.
So you also like have to be mindful and aware, because if you're trying to open this door and it's not opening, like then go look for a window, then go look for something else. But if you have that end goal in mind, go for it. Like you can't like fall away from that, because if you don't believe in your goal, nobody else is going to.
And nobody else will 100% always back you like you will. I think that's too why, and I don't mind sharing this. I think that's why I personally pulled away from MBR as a brand when it came to deciding, like, am I going to invest in their mastermind program? And am I going to invest in, and still going along with kind of that bandwagon thing? It's like, I had to bet on myself. I can't bet on MBR.
I agree.
I have the method that I use that I'm really successful with and I love and I believe in, super passionate about. It's helped me build my career, but I can't bet on them.
No.
I can't bet on their mastermind to
I-
lead me to everything I need to do. You know, it's like,
Yes. And
you have to be gritty.
agree. And one of the things, I guess this isn't really anything we've ever talked about, like why we're not a part of the mastermind anymore.
I just can't rely on other people in that way.
And I agree. For me, I needed to know that I could still be successful on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like that is like when I started to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Because you started betting on yourself instead of being
Yes.
like, I need MBR to succeed.
And like using that as like an excuse.
Mhm.
Because I think and not an excuse. And like, I loved the accountability. There were a lot of things I really loved about it,
I 100% know what you're saying though.
but I needed to know that my success was not built. Yes, they gave me the foundation. They gave me so many tools to use, and I still use them every day to this day. I will never discredit that.
Me neither.
Ever. And I still, when people ask, like, we've talked about it yet, like, it was worth it for me.
Oh, I
Their
think
training
it's a
was
great
worth
beginning.
it. Yes. But I just needed to know that I could fly without them.
Mm-hmm. It's like, if you're a pilot and Delta trains you, you have to understand that if Delta doesn't work out, or if you don't like Delta's benefits, you can take your pilot's license and go work for anyone.
Yeah.
You can work for yourself. It's like no one can take away that understanding and that education and that experience that you have gained from a company or a brand. And also props and so much love and gratitude to MBR, because they did give us, so much.
My career truly changed.
Mine too.
My life, I would say my life
Mine too.
changed because of that training.
And they were
And
they
I
were
will
the
always be
beginning
grateful
of
for it.
same. They were the beginning of a mindset shift in
For-
me, I
Agree.
think.
Yeah.
But also, I paid well over $30,000 in a probably 18-month to 2-month span, 18-month to 2-year span training with them. So it's like, thank you, but also I paid for that. It's like thanking a university for your degree. Well, you worked for it and you paid for it, so
100%.
So it's not like MBR just gives you this thing and you're like, oh, I'm so blessed, because it's like, we worked really, really hard, and also we paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, I think it just all boils down to, like, no one's going to inject you with the passion that you're like waiting to feel, or the secret code to, unlock your secret career. It's like, you have to be willing to like look in places you don't think that there'll be answers. And when you don't find the answer, to keep looking.
That, and like one of the things we were talking about earlier, like executing.
Mm-hmm.
You can lay out this perfect game plan. You can
Have an idea to have a podcast and sit on it.
yeah.
But when I had an idea to have a podcast, I'm like, I'm not satisfied or satiated by ideas. I'm satisfied when I'm like, I want to do a podcast. I have a client whose husband has that kind of setup. Let's do that.
Right. Well, okay, listen. I just lost my train of thought.
Podcast, starting
no,
podcast.
I know.
Dang.
Laying out this like perfect plan. Oh, okay. People, this is so frustrating sometimes when you're like talking to people about their business and they're like, well, I haven't done that yet because like it's not perfect yet. You guys, it's never going to be perfect. And that is like part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to improve constantly, as you should. If you start out with a perfect product and that's all you sell ever, you're eventually going to like be like, okay, what? Like now what? It's perfect.
Right.
There's no improvements to be made. You have to just put whatever you're wanting to put out, you have to put it out as is, and then take feedback, take criticism, whatever that looks like.
Be vulnerable.
And improve it. And share your journey along the way. Like that, if you're waiting to start until it's perfect, it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to start. It's always going to hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And that is
good is better than great to me.
Yeah.
Because you can do good 10 times. You can do great once.
Yeah.
Or twice maybe,
So when I hear, and that's something that people have to just figure out. Like you can tell them till you're blue in the face, but that's something that like when you realize it, you really realize it and then you go. But like I can only say so many things so many times.
I know it gets old.
And then you're like, okay, I'm done because like
you're like, you don't want to do the work actually.
You absolutely aren't willing to do it. And you're so scared. And like the fear.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Cause
it's not like we weren't scared. We were scared and we did it anyways. Whatever it is that has gotten us
and
to
you
the
just
place.
have to like feel that fear. Just do it. Like until you do it and realize like, What was I afraid of? Are you afraid of what people are going to say? Who cares? They're not doing what you're doing. They're not on your
paying
journey
bills either.
Yeah, like that can't be your reason for not doing something. And it like almost makes my heart hurt because it is so like that person they just have to do it for themselves and they're not going to do it unless it's something that they're like, okay, here we go.
It's like watching an addict struggle, but like being around other addicts or watching it's like anything else that you're like, I can tell you what you're doing wrong or what you need to do, but it doesn't matter unless you understand how it's going to work out.
Yeah,
it's like believing. It's literally a faith. It's like a career of faith because you've only seen other people kind of like have it work out or say that it's worked out, but you do not know for yourself until you actually do it.
Yeah.
There was one other thing I wanted to say, but I forgot. Oh, I think too, when you have ideas that you like this podcast, when I was like, I really want to do a podcast. You're like, well, that's really stupid. I don't really know where to start or if anyone would care. It's like, once I met up with Dylan, our producer, and he was like, yeah, this is like a thing. Like, Dylan didn't shut me down. He wasn't like, you're a stupid idiot. Like, this is never going to work. He was like, yeah, sounds good. And then I asked Haley, I'm like, hey, do you want to be a part of this with me? And she was like, yeah, that sounds fun. I think once you start putting stuff out there in a very serious way, people react to it very differently than like the doomsday situation that is in your head. Like I
agree.
Are making out with my dog, but that's okay. But
Can't help it.
You don't know until you try. So it's like you either be miserable and don't try or give it a whirl.
Yeah.
As Kevin from Home Alone
You
would
literally
say.
have nothing to lose. Like, especially if it's something that only requires your time.
Time. Yeah. Is the only thing you have to lose.
That's the only thing you have to lose. And again, like that just means either figure out a different way or tweak it, move on, find another door.
Yeah. I liked this episode personally.
I know, same. I get
discovering
so,
what
like,
only you can do and
fired up about this.
Yeah, I know. And finding a way.
It's all like an attitude and a mindset.
It's literally a positive.
You just have to believe in
thinking.
yourself.
Yep. And betting on yourself.
Yeah. Be your own biggest fan.
I love the phrase betting on yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you mentally, time-wise, and monetarily give your money and all your attention to something else, you're not betting on yourself.
Well, and that's so true. And it's the same thing of like making an investment in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can invest your money here. You can invest your money there. There's always an investment that can be made. But the one investment I think you can just say you'll never regret is the one that you make in yourself. And that goes across the board in so many ways with a business, with investing in your hair, investing in like your fitness, your workouts, like just the investment in you. Like,
yeah. If you need to, even if you are held back in situations in life, go see a counselor, go talk to a therapist. I'm going to see freaking Oprah in March because like there's a joy that I get from, self-growth, things like that makes me better. Like find different outlets and different ways that nourish you, and they don't all have to be hair related. I think that's super important.
I've realized that the people that I look up to the most and that what's the word I'm looking for? That I'm drawn to, I should say.
Find inspiration from?
Yes, are the most that's what it is. The most inspirational people to me are not other people in the hair world.
Mm-hmm.
They are people who have taken their passion or the knowledge that they've gained from doing something, and they're the people that have turned sharing that into a business. Like, there's nothing more fascinating to me than that. It blows my mind. It's the same thing as like how hair extensions blow my dad's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like that blows my mind. People will pay for your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And
for the opportunity to be pushed to take a risk that you're taking,
yes.
or just.
Yes. So those are the people that have done that. I am like, holy cow, that is so freaking cool. Those are just the most inspirational people of all time to me.
And those people are everywhere in every different kind of like
Form.
field.
Yeah.
Sky is the limit as far as finding inspiration and finding opportunities for growth, I think.
I agree.
I liked this. I feel very inspired.
I know, same. I want to
Should
go
Oprah
change.
have
I
us
want
on
to
as
go
a
change
guest?
the world.
I know. I feel like maybe we should call Oprah and ask if she wants to be a guest on our podcast.
I'm really good at pitches. I could be like, "Hey, dear Oprah, we love you, and
I'm
we
not
just,
even kidding at this point.
we'd love to come have you.
Gail
talk.
would be great too. I mean, really,
we'd love to have you talk to us.
we're just two Midwest girls shooting for the stars.
Shooting girl in a rocket.
Yeah. If you guys have any feedback or anything, we are happy to hear from you.
We have a Nice Hair podcast email, and we get some really nice emails and
We do.
DMs.
We do. Yeah. You can find us on our Instagram page, on Nice Hair.
YouTube,
Yep.
on our
Right.
website.
Nice Hair Podcast on YouTube, nicehairpodcast@gmail.com. And
Rate, review, and subscribe.
thank you. That's what was in my head, but I didn't
We were
say
saying it wrong the last one. We were
What'd we
saying
say?
like, comment, and subscribe. I think that's YouTube. Rate, review, and subscribe, please.
I don't even know.
I think it's like helpful to the podcast if you do that. So
It is,
We
yeah.
would really love it. Dylan is shaking his head
Yeah.
aggressively. Yes. We would really love it if you guys did that. So
Thanks, Hair Fam.
we love you guys.
See ya.
See you next time.